In this episode of Moved, we examine interdependence and partnership through the case study of the McPherson Neighborhood Initiative in Napa, California. We begin with the story of McPherson and its unique success. 5 years ago, McPherson was an underperforming elementary school in a neighborhood that is 90% below the poverty line in one of the richest counties in California. The mission of the McPherson Initiative is to create opportunity for the 2,000 children in the neighborhood. It consists of several programs focused around the McPherson Elementary School. The Life and Layla Academies serve middle school and high school students, providing youth development and leadership training. Students in these programs have a 90% college enrollment rate. The Family Resource Center and Parent University provide training for parents to better support the academic success of their children. They have currently enrolled 354 parents in courses and 291 parents as on-site volunteers. With the partnership of these programs, McPherson Elementary has accomplished a 300% increase in core-level early literacy, one of the most important indicators of future academic success.
Aquí en la escuela nos han dado la confianza para sentirnos seguros de venir y participar.
The difference now, as of 8 years ago when I first started, is that the whole community is coming together, parents, community members, business members getting together and helping kids to support academic success. I think that's the biggest difference, is that we really are a true community.
What makes McPherson different is a special partnership between three organizations led by Tamara Sanguinetti, principal at McPherson Elementary, Leslie Medine, executive director of On the Move, a Bay Area-wide nonprofit, and Lisa Maisano, program director at the Germanacos Foundation. Traditionally, if a nonprofit, a public school, and foundation collaborated, the school would rent a room to the nonprofit would run an after-school program, and the foundation would give a one-year grant for a specific initiative. Nonprofit staff would complain about the school because they have too many rules, the school would complain about the nonprofit for taking away instructional time, and the foundation would struggle to see the impact of their grant. The innovation at McPherson was to change the way organizations collaborate, creating a new model of interdependent partnership. In order to understand the essential ingredients of McPherson's success, I spoke with the leadership of the organizations as well as 3 recent graduates. Together, we identified 7 key principles of interdependence.
Interdependence isn't pretend. So it's not like, well, let's make up something so we can be interdependent. It starts with there's real work. Urgent matters. There's real stuff that has to happen.
You're going to make sure that every child reads by the 2nd grade, which is incredibly ambitious. You cannot achieve that alone.
It's not like Family Resource Center had their separate goal, Layla had their separate goal, and we had our separate goal. We now have one goal that we're working toward.
The second thing is each organization or person in the partnership has some core competency they're bringing to the work. So our core competency was youth leadership. Hers is educational curriculum and moving kids forward academically. I'm not trying to tell Tamara how to run her school, ever. I'm like, if you tell me these kids need to learn these 180 high frequency words, I'm there. I'm like, okay, that's her part. How am I going to come in to support that effort? So I have to know my role so well as it disappears. That's how well I know it, that it becomes transparent, and that's how we can go in and out of, we're all here together, and I know my part.
You make agreements, and it has to be a consensus, it's not majority. And so you're already in that mindset of, okay, what are our rules? What are we going to come up with? What is our group going to do? What is our final project? What's our final product?
I'm very controlling and like things a certain way, and that's how I kind of operated until I really let go of that control and that power and embraced a real partnership in which Leslie is part of my decision-making process. Leslie is part of the solution, and her organization and her team, as well as Lisa. Not only did it transform the kind of leader that I am, but it also transformed this neighborhood into a neighborhood that I never thought could exist.
If you know what excellence looks like, and you're a high performer, and especially if the leaders are high performers and they expect the teams to be high performing teams, it's because we want to be great at what we do.
Being in this program, we learned that we had to help each other. It was us that we were going to be pushing each other to get to where we wanted to be.
We sometimes reflect and we're like, are we really making an impact in these kids' lives? And I think that's what we're all striving for, and that's what we all want. We want to be that impact, and we want to help them.
If you're committed to excellence, then you have to have a way where you really do give feedback to each other about how we're doing about the work. And if something fell apart, which, things fall apart, then we have a way to talk to each other about what that is.
We were very real with each other. We put everything out there, I have a problem with you because of this, or how are we going to fix this now? We're going to be in a team together. How do we fix this? And it was just really putting ourselves out there, and which is a big risk for us, and really listening. Listening was a big part of it.
When I'm thinking about innovating, you've got to try something and see what happens. You document literally what happened, and then you go to making meaning of it. But that means you're experimenting. People don't like this word experiment, but we're experimenting because I'm trying to get really great at this. I'm trying to get my team to be great. I'm trying to have great outcomes. There is no way to do this without learning, and there is no way to learn without failing.
Once you really jump all the way off the cliff, not a little bit, not holding on to a rope, but all the way, that's when things happen that you never would think would ever happen before. The community involvement, the parent, just like on a scale that I have never imagined before.
Well, I'm really seeing the kids in this school improve by leaps and bounds. Incredible increases in terms of their ability to learn.
This kind of partnership is time consuming, period. So if people start with, oh, well, I have no time, well, it's over then. It's done. Okay, well then fine, if you have no time, then you have no time for this either. My cell phone would ring and I'd see Tamara's phone number on there and I'd be like, I do not want to answer this phone. But I answer the phone because I'm now committed. So it isn't about, oh, excuse me, it's 5 o'clock, I can't answer the phone, or I won't, or whatever it is. It's Tamara, that's my partner. I have to find out what's going on.
You need to bring those leaders together at the same time to have the experience and start to create that relationship. It really is, in the end, all about developing authentic relationships that are going to support kids' learning. And it takes time.
To recap, interdependent partnerships require real and urgent work, compatible competency, shared decision-making, commitment to excellence, direct communication, experimentation and learning, and lastly, it takes time. Every team is different, every community unique. However, it is our hope that some of these ideas help you create meaningful and effective partnerships in your work and community.